Anybody has any ideas of this?
We could drop a perpendicular to BC.
Okay, then what?
Then, so so we could take sine of B, which is opposite by hypotenuse, and
Correct.
sine of C. Yeah.
So ideally, that is correct. You can use trigonometry to prove it, but use trigonometry to prove it is fine. But ideally, what we want to do is by pure geometry, right? Right now we are doing pure geometry. Later, it's all cool. Trigonometry is fine, but so everyone should understand the trigonometric way to prove it, which is saying sine of B is equal to perpendicular by, or actually you should do, sine of B is fine. Perpendicular by hypotenuse. So sine of B will be equal to AD by AB, and sine of C will be equal to AD by AC. And you will note that since B is greater than C, and in 0 to 90 degree, sine is increasing with greater angles, right?
Yes.
Sine 60 is bigger than sine 30. So angle B is greater than angle C means sine B is greater than sine C. Therefore, AD by AB is greater than AD by AC. Therefore, AC is greater than AB, right?
Yes.
We can conclude very easily from trigonometry, but this is using some stuff about trigonometry, no?
Yes.
Ideally, I want to prove this without using trigonometry. I want to use no other tool other than pure geometry. Anybody has any ideas? Pure geometry proof for this, that greater angle has greater side opposite to it. So this angle is B, this angle is C. So we want to prove that AC is greater than AB, right? So we'll do a proof by contradiction. Proof by contradiction. So we'll assume what? That AC is less than equal to AB. Okay. AC is less than equal to AB, right?
Yes.
So one case can be AC is equal to AB. In that case, angle B should come as equal to angle C, which is not true. Not true.
Yes.
So that is immediately contradicted, right? Now,
Yes.
second case is AC is less than AB, right? AC is less than AB, then we need to prove a condition that great. We have to basically now prove the opposite of it. So we have to prove that greater side has greater angle opposite to it.
Yes.
Greater angle opposite to it. So to prove this, this is the converse of this statement. No, this is the opposite of this statement. What we wanted to prove was greater angle has greater side opposite to it. Has greater side opposite to it. So what we are getting is we are trying to do a proof by contradiction, and in one of the cases of the contradiction, AC is less than AB, I want to use this result. So I will have to prove this result eventually. For now, I will just assume that if this result is true, then what we get is greater side has greater angle, so we'll get angle ABC is less than angle ACB,
Which is not correct.
which is not correct. If this result is true, then only this works, and then we have got a contradiction. So we have proved the initial thing, but right now our job is now to prove this thing, right? We have to prove this result. Greater side has greater angle opposite to it, and there's a nice way to prove it. So I will prove that on the next page. Has everyone understood this, what I'm saying? So
Yes.
it's fine, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm going to now prove this intermediate lemma that I am using to prove that result. So let's do that. So what we have to prove is greater side has greater angle opposite. So I will draw a triangle, and I have to label it A, B, C, and let AC is greater than AB. Okay. Then AC is greater than AB, then we can choose a point on AC such that D, we can choose a point D here where AB is equal to AD, right?
Yes, and then we get the equal angle.
Then I'm choosing a point here so that AB was equal to AD, because AC is greater than AB, that's why I can choose such a point. Then we get equal angles here, right? And so ABD is equal to ADB, angle ABD is equal to angle ADB. Now angle ABC is clearly bigger than angle ABD, no? Right? Which is equal to ABD is equal to angle ADB. See, angle ABC, this angle is clearly bigger than ABD, no?
Yes.
So, but ABD was equal to ADB. So what
And
we have got is
yes,
ABC is greater than ADB, right?
and ADB is ACB plus
Correct.
DBC.
Correct. ADB is exterior angle of this triangle. So it is equal to DBC plus DCB. And DCB is the angle that we want, right? DCB is angle ACB, right?
Yes.
DCB is just ACB by another name. So we have proved that angle ABC is greater than angle ADB. Therefore, angle ABC is greater than angle ACB, right?
Yes.
Because ADB is equal to this plus something, right? Everyone agrees.
Yes, sir.
Mansi,
Yes, sir.
Mansi, you are understanding, no?
Yes.
Okay. So we have proved that greater side has greater angle opposite to it. Therefore, now what will happen is we have proved the opposite assertion also, that greater angle has greater side opposite to it. Because we can prove that by contradiction like we did last page, right?
Yes.
Greater side opposite to it. Okay. So this was a geometry proof. Now I want you guys to prove the triangle inequality. Prove the triangle inequality. So what is the triangle inequality? Someone might ask. The triangle inequality is that sum of lengths of any two sides of a triangle, is greater than the length of the third side, greater than length of the third side. Okay. Sum of lengths of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the length of third side. Let's try to prove this. We know how to use it, but we should also know the proof of it. ABC, and let's take another triangle here. Let's extend this and make it D. What I have done is I have extended it like this. Okay. This is the hint. This will help us prove it. D is the point on the extension of the side BC such that AC is equal to CD. Okay. So AC is equal to CD, then this angle will be equal to this angle.
Yes.
Correct. So CAD is equal to CDA.
Yes.
CAD is equal to CDA. Now in triangle BAD, right? We have angle BAD. Angle BAD is equal to angle BAC plus angle CAD, right? Which is greater than angle CAD, right? This is two angles, and CAD was equal to CAD. Correct. Which is two angles is greater than one angle, right? Which is equal to angle CDA, which is equal to angle BDA, right? So what we have gotten is angle BAD is greater than angle BDA, right? Is everyone understanding what I'm doing?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This whole angle is bigger than this part angle, right? So part angle is equal to this angle. So the whole angle is bigger than this angle, right? And once you get this, we'll use greater angle has greater side opposite to it, right? So therefore, we should have BD should be greater than AB, and BD is what? BC plus CD
Plus
is greater than AB, and CD is equal to AC.
C.
BC plus AC is greater than AB. We have proved, no?
Yes, sir.
Mansi? Okay. Okay. So we have proved triangle inequality. Let's prove some more interesting stuff. Okay. So triangle inequality says that sum of lengths of any two sides of a triangle is greater than the length of the third side. This we have proved by taking an isosceles triangle here and noting that this angle is bigger than this angle, right? So
Yeah.
next we have these results. I will just write down these results and I will give you guys 5 minutes to try to prove them, okay? And these are
Yes.
key questions, so you will be able to do it in 5 minutes only. Any point P on the perpendicular bisector of a line segment AB is equidistant from the end points A and B.
So this is used to prove the incenter, right?
No, this is going to be used in the circumcenter, right?
Circumcenter.
Any point P on the angle bisector,
So this is incenter.
correct? Angle bisector of angle AOB is equidistant from the rays forming the angle. Rays forming the angle. Then third one is let P dash be the reflection of point P with respect to the line AB. The line AB. Triangle PAB is congruent to triangle P dash AB. Fourth one is ABCD is a parallelogram. Prove that opposite sides have equal length, one, and two, diagonals bisect each other. Diagonals bisect each other. These two things. Then okay. Prove midpoint theorem. Midpoint theorem is if you join two midpoints of a triangle, segment joining midpoints of two sides of a triangle,
It's equal to half the length of the third side and parallel.
midpoint of two sides of a triangle, it is equal to parallel to third side and half the length. Third side and half the length. So these 5 things we want to do. Most of it is super easy. So just try to do it yourself. Each point is important. We will keep using these things many times. So we should prove them and know it once and for all. Okay. You have like 5 minutes to do this. Okay. 5 minutes or 6 minutes. I'll be back in 5. Just try these. Hello? Yeah. Are you getting 1, 2 and all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Sir, I'm on the third.
Okay.
So I got all of them except for 3.
Okay. Okay. So first one is simple. Mansi, first one you are getting.
No, sir.
So suppose there is a segment AB, right? And then what do you have to do? You have to make a perpendicular bisector of the segment. So first find the midpoint and draw a perpendicular line, right?
Yes.
90, 90. This line is midpoint, right? Then join this. So can you prove that this triangle is congruent to this triangle? Because common side, one side is midpoint, and 9 SAS, right?
Yes.
So any point on this line will be this distance now matches this distance.
So yes.
So it is equidistant from A and B, right? Because of congruent triangles. Now second one also similarly, there is an angle. This is an angle bisector. Angle bisector, let's put a point here, drop a perpendicular from this. This is the distance of this point from this ray, no? This ray.
Yes.
And similarly, this is the distance from this ray. So again, this is angle bisector. So this angle is equal to this angle. There is a common side. There is a 90-degree angle. So similar triangles is happening. No, this triangle is similar because two angles are matching. No, similar triangles is there, and there is a common side here, right?
Yes.
So,
They are confident.
so they are congruent again. So this distance will be equal to this distance. So that is the second proof. Okay.
Yes.
Third one is reflection of point P with respect to line AB. So now third one I'll do in the next page. So suppose there is a line AB, A and B, and there is a point P. Think of the line AB as a mirror. If there is a mirror, then the image will be formed directly opposite and equidistant, no?
Yes.
So this angle must be 90-degree.
Yes.
And this distance must be equal to this distance for image to be formed. Then PAB triangle and P dash AB triangle. You have to prove that these triangles are congruent, right? So how will we prove this now?
So we can prove in between POB and P dash OB if
Mhm.
the intersection is
we,
O.
we can prove that these two triangles are congruent
Yes.
because this side is equal to this side. This is a common side and included angle.
Yes.
So
So
then
similar.
we get SSS.
No, this is SAS by SAS. This is done by SAS. These two are done.
And then the final is SSS.
Final is SSS, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So the triangle PAB is coming congruent to P dash AB, right? Okay. Fourth one was that parallelogram thing.
Yes.
In a parallelogram, if there is a parallelogram
I got-
ABCD, just draw a diagonal, right? A, B, C, D. You have to prove that opposite sides have equal length. So if you take this triangle and this triangle, this line is parallel to this line. So this angle is a same as this angle, right? Correct. And there is a common opposite sides are also equal. So you are getting SAS again, no? This is a
Yes.
common side. This side is equal to this side, and alternate angles are equal. You're getting SAS. So then, oh wait,
So, but we needed
no.
to.
Oh yeah. We have to prove that this is equal.
So AS.
So if we have to prove that it is equal, then we use angle properties and prove similarity first.
Yes. And then there's a common side.
And then there is a common side. So again, prove that this triangle is similar to this triangle first, and because of common side it becomes congruent, and then say that this is equal to this, right?
Yeah.
So similar triangles will come easily because parallel lines, right? So
Yeah.
so if you think of this angle, it's equal to this angle, right?
Yes.
this is equal to this is equal to this, so all three angles are equal, so similar triangles has been done, right? Now diagonals bisect each other in a parallelogram. That is also obvious now, because now congruent triangles is proved.
Yes.
So if you take this triangle and another diagonal like this, right? So let the intersection point of the diagonal be S, A, B, C, D.
So SCD is congruent to SBA.
So you can prove that SCD is congruent to SBA because vertically opposite angle, and these angles are anyway same, right?
Yes.
So similar triangles and opposite sides are equal length, right?
Yes.
First you prove similar triangles, then you say that opposite sides have equal length, so it is congruent triangle. So then this length should be equal to this length, and this length should be equal to this length. So diagonals are being bisected at the midpoint, right?
Yes. Sir.
Everyone is getting it, no? Okay. Then last thing was what? Midpoint theorem, no?
Yes.
Okay. So last thing was midpoint theorem. Let's prove. So there is a triangle. There's a triangle like this: A, B, C, and we have midpoint of this is say M, and midpoint of this is say N, and we have joined the two midpoints, right?
So we get SES similarity.
So what can we say now?
AMN is similar to ABC.
AMN is similar to ABC, correct? So
AM by AB is AC by
correct.
AN by AC. Yes.
AM by AB will be equal to AN by AC, right? Which is
Yes.
equal to MN by BC.
Which is half.
And this is half because midpoint. So this is half. We have proved half. And because it is similar, hey, how did we get similar though?
So SES, the ratio is half.
Ratio. We got similar triangles because all the sides are in the same ratio.
Yes.
Yeah.
Similar triangles because S1 by S2 is same everywhere, right?
Yes, sir.
So because similar triangles, then angles are also same then, right?
Yes.
So angles are same. So this is like alternate corresponding angles, no? So MN is parallel to BC,
Yes.
right? So we have proved MN parallel to BC also, and MN is equal to half BC also, correct?
Yes.
So one last question on this section. So suppose,
I have a doubt.
tell me.
Sir, for proving that we have similar triangles, we need to know that all the sides ratio is equal, but we have to prove itself that MN is half of BC. Then, if we already assume that, then how are we doing?
Wait.
So we have SES similarity. So angle A is common and Yeah.
SAS similarity is also there, no? So this and this and this.
Okay, I got it.
So then we got MN is by BC, and then we have similar triangles, so MN is parallel to BC, right? Correct. So next question is, let M be the midpoint of side ABC, side AB, midpoint of side AB in triangle ABC. Prove that angle ACB is equal to 90 degree if and only if MA is equal to MB is equal to MC. This is the question.
So we need to prove the converse also, right?
We'll have to prove the converse also, opposite direction also. When you have a if and only if statement, proving it does not just mean one side, it means proving both sides. So first we'll prove one side, then we'll see the second side. Try this yourself for a bit. See. First assume only M is midpoint of the side, and assume that MA is equal to MB is equal to MC, and then prove that ACB is 90, and then do the opposite. So let's say we have a triangle. A, B, C, and this is midpoint M. Okay. So what we have to do is, this is half half. Assume MA is equal to MB is equal to MC, and using that prove that angle ACB is equal to 90. So MC is also same, suppose. This is not so hard to prove.
We can do angle shift.
So you can call this angle, say, alpha. Then this angle is also alpha, isosceles triangle,
Yes.
and this
The
angle is,
alpha is 45 degrees.
2 alpha comes here, right?
Yeah.
Exterior angle,
Yes. So we get 90 minus alpha.
90 minus alpha here, and 90 minus alpha here, right?
Yes.
So this plus this is becoming 90, no?
Yes.
Right? How did you get alpha is 45 degree?
So 4 alpha is equal to 180.
Which one? Where? 90 minus alpha plus. How is you getting?
So that need not be true. So you can have any right triangle in which that.
It is not necessary now that it is 4 alpha.
Oh,
how?
okay, sir.
Right? You understand? This could be 30 also, 30 60.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what we are getting though is, this is alpha, then this is 2 alpha, and because this is 2 alpha and this is isosceles, you will have 90 minus alpha here, because the total of this has to be 180, right?
Yeah.
And 90 minus alpha plus alpha, this angle has become 90. Now we have to assume that it is 90 and prove that MA is equal to MB is equal to MC. Basically, although you also know that MA is equal to MB, and this is 90. This is the opposite, right?
So then this proves that the circumcenter is the midpoint of the hypotenuse.
Yeah. So, but we have not yet proved it. So we
Yeah.
should try and prove it. So we have something like this. What you are getting is A, C, B. You have midpoint of this is known, M. You will join it. And you are given that this angle is 90 and this is equal to this. Now you have to prove that this is also, MC is also equal to MA or MB.
So we can construct a circle around
Uh,
ABC, and then because it's 90, that becomes
correct.
the point. Yeah.
So you are using circle properties here. You can
Yeah.
use circle properties, but can you do it also without circle properties? Circle properties, though, it is clear how to do, right? Because
Yes, sir.
this is 90 degrees, so angle in a semicircle is 90 degrees. So this is the diameter. So this is center of the circle. Center of the circle. This is radius. This is also radius, right?
Yes.
We have proved it. But without circle properties, also you can prove it. Okay. So without circle properties, let's try to prove. Let's drop a perpendicular on. Let N be the midpoint of AC. Let's take the midpoint N of AC. Okay. Then M to N, if you join, then it is becoming midpoint theorem, no?
Yeah.
M to N.
Yes.
M to N is midpoint theorem. So MN is parallel to BC.
Yes. And that angle will be 90.
Correct. So MN is parallel to BC. Then this angle will be 90. Right? Now, MN is becoming an altitude in triangle MAC, right? MN is becoming an altitude of triangle MAC.
Yes.
Correct. So now what you know is MN is both median and altitude, right?
Yes.
MN is a median. MN is also altitude, right? So that means it is isosceles triangle, no?
Yes, sir.
That means isosceles. If only in isosceles triangle do you have that midpoint is 90 degree, right? This is a median, right?
Yes, sir.
So if it is isosceles, then this side is equal to this side,
So MA is equal to MC.
and MA was already equal to MB, so it is done, right? Correct. So the proof has come by deciding to drop a by deciding to join the midpoint M with the midpoint N. When you join the midpoint, this becomes parallel to this, so this becomes 90. So in triangle, this is also altitude, right? And it is also midpoint. So then this is isosceles, so this side must be equal to this side.
Yes.
Correct? Om?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So now we come to a different topic. It come to areas. Some results on areas and all. Most of it is familiar to you already. Area of a rectangle, parallelogram, all of this stuff I'm not going to discuss. Everyone knows, no, base into height.
Yes, sir.
So there is a parallelogram. The area will be the base into the height. This is the height, right?
Yes.
So area of parallelogram is that. Area of triangle is half base into height. And
Yes.
right angle triangle also, you know what to do. Right angle triangle is obvious because the height and the base are the sides only, right?
Yes.
Half AB is the area. Trapezium, area of a trapezium.
So average of the bases into height.
Okay. So A, B, C, D. So it is half into sum of parallel sides into distance between parallel sides. Sum of parallel sides into distance between parallel sides. Or you can say average of the bases into the height. So this means this length is A, this length is B, and this height is suppose H. So area of the trapezium will become half into A plus B into H. How is it coming like that?
So,
Because you can drop perpendiculars, right?
yes, sir. And then we can get the area of the triangles and the
Correct.
rectangle. Yeah.
So two triangles and one rectangle, right? So
Yes.
rectangle will be A into H, and triangles will be half into
So
whatever.
rectangle will be base into
B into H.
Yes.
Rectangle will be B into H, and this distance will be say X, and this distance will be say Y. Triangles will be half into X into H plus half into Y into H, right?
Yes.
So then you can take H by 2 common and it becomes B plus X plus Y.
Yes.
I feel like I made a mistake somewhere.
So we can't take.
It's 2.
Can't take common further. BH.
Oh, hi, it is 2B, no? 2B.
Yeah.
That was the mistake. H by 2 common, it is B plus X plus Y. And B plus X plus Y is A, right?
Yes.
Make sense, everyone? Okay. So that is trapezium area. Okay. Can you prove that area of a rhombus is half into product of diagonals?
So we can form the 4 right triangles.
Area of a rhombus is equal to half into product of diagonals, half into D1 into D2. So here you will have to use the property of the rhombus that diagonals are always perpendicular in a rhombus.
Yes.
Okay. So this diagonal and this diagonal are perpendicular to each other. Rhombus is a parallel. Okay, this is not a rhombus.
Because the sides are not equal.
Sides are not equal. So this result is true for any quadrilateral with perpendicular diagonals.
So even a kite. Yeah.
Any quadrilateral with perpendicular diagonals. So what I have drawn looks like a kite type of situation. What I've drawn is like this. this,
Yes.
the sides are not equal, no? This side is not equal to this side, is not equal to this and this. So if you have perpendicular diagonals though, then you can divide it into multiple triangles. This triangle, and 4 triangles, right? And
Yeah.
when you add the areas of the 4 triangles, you will realize that the bases will add and become the lengths of the diagonals.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it becomes half into D1 into D2, right? Now, 2 triangles which are between the same bases will have same area if the heights are the same, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I want you to prove this property. There is a property which is, let A, P, B be collinear points in that order. Then let Q be a point that is not collinear with them. Then we have to prove that area of, I write area as a triangle symbol, area of APQ by area of BPQ is equal to AP by PB. We have to prove this.
Because the heights are the same, so we can drop a perpendicular.
So APB, you have 3 points which are collinear, right? And Q is a point which is not collinear, right?
Yes.
So area of triangle APQ, right? And BPQ, right?
Yes.
They have a common height, no?
Yes.
So area of triangle APQ will be half into
AP into H.
AP into H, and area of triangle BPQ will be half into BP into H, right? So the ratio becomes AP by BP, right?
Yes.
So sometimes it will it will not be obvious that, wait, the triangles are having the same base or similar bases. So questions could be very complicated where you will not notice this. For example, when we do x circles, right? X circles, when we derive the length of an x radius, right?
Yes.
That time this point will become useful, this point. So right now, even if it seems like, why are we doing this, this is obvious, it is not so obvious at some points. So just keep in mind this thing. So if the base is on the same line, then the ratio of the bases will be the areas of this ratio of areas of this triangle, right?
Yes, sir.
So can you also now prove Thales theorem? Have you heard of Thales basic proportionality theorem?
Yes, sir. So it's derived from similarity, right?
Yeah, it's derived from similarity, but you can also do it using areas now, right?
Yes.
Thales theorem.
Yes.
So it says OAB is a triangle. OAB is a triangle. OAB, and CD is a line that intersects OA and OB at C and D, right?
Yeah.
CD is a line that intersects OA and OB at C and D. Prove that AB parallel to CD implies that OC by CA will be equal to OD by DB, right?
Yes.
So yeah, tell me.
No, the area method I was thinking.
Area method. So area method, for that, why don't we drop a perpendicular from A to this CD, A1, and from B to CD, this is B1. Okay. So A1 is equal to B1, no? Because
They lie between parallel lines.
Because AB is parallel to CD, right? So now triangle C, D and A. Triangle CDA, okay, and triangle CDB. Look at these two triangles. So height is same for both the triangles, no?
Yes.
So area of triangle CDA is equal to area of triangle CDB because base is also same and height is also same. Correct?
Yes.
So that means CDA area is equal to CDB area. Now we can say that means implies area triangle OCD divided by area triangle CDA will be same as area triangle OCD divided by area triangle CDB. I have multiplied
Yes.
by the same thing on both sides and divided by different things, right? But
Yes.
this is same, right?
Yes.
So now OCD area will be written as OC by CA, right? This area ratio OCD by CDA.
Is OC by C.
OC by CA. This is from what property? OC by C. Oh yeah, this is
C
from the this is from OCA are collinear, no?
Yes.
This is from the previous property. See, look at D point.
And yes.
OC and see, this is why sometimes it is not obvious, right?
Yes.
See, OCA are collinear. So OC to D area and CA to D this area, right? Will be proportional to this by this, right? This is the previous property that we had just now proved, no? APB, remember?
Yes, sir.
APB. And this area and this area ratio, this and this will be this by this, right? So we get OC by CA from here is equal to
OD by D. OD by D.
OD by DB here, because again you look at this point and look at this area and this area, right? Correct?
Yes, sir.
So we have proved Thales theorem using the previous property that we saw just now.
Yes.
Okay, using just areas. We have not done any similar triangles and all. Okay, so now we'll quickly look at similar triangles. Everyone anyway knows mostly what is similar triangle, so I will not spend too much time on it. Let's do it. Similarity. What is the meaning of similarity? Basically, things are in proportion, right? Everything is in proportion. So a similar triangle will be like this and like this. This is a similar triangle situation, right? So
Yes.
you will have criteria for similarity is AA or SSS. All sides, all corresponding sides are in the same ratio. Sides are in the same ratio. Same ratio. And third one is SAS is also there. SAS similarity.
Yes.
Okay. And you anyway know Thales theorem and stuff, so that is not a problem. Now areas of similar triangles will be
Proportional to the square.
of the ratio.
Ratio of sides.
Correct. Ratio of the sides. If that ratio of sides is equal to k, then area will be in k square, because what happens in similar triangles is that every length becomes k times. Okay, not just the sides, even the heights, even the medians, everything. Okay,
Yes.
everything becomes k times. So if you have area is equal to half base into height, in the similar triangle it will be half into k into base into k into height.
Yes.
So it will be k square into the area, right?
Yes.
Okay, so this you know. Then some basic laws like Euclid's laws for a right angle triangle, from which you can prove now Pythagoras theorem, right?
Yes.
Euclid's rules, laws. So if you have a right angle triangle ABC, Suppose A, B, C, angle is 90 degree here, right? Okay. Let
Yes.
D be the foot of the perpendicular from C to this D. Okay. You can prove now that CD square is equal to AD into DB.
Yes.
You can also prove that AC square is equal to AD into AB, and BC square is equal to BD into BA. These three things can be proved
Using a similarity.
using similarity. Ohm, it is clear now how to prove these three things. Everyone try once. You can prove that triangle ADC is similar to triangle CDB. ADC and CDB,
Yes.
because it will be proved by AA criterion.
Yes.
Because this is 190 degree. If this is alpha, this much is 90 minus alpha, and this much is alpha, right?
Yes.
So this one becomes 90 minus alpha. So now this triangle is similar to ADC, is similar to CDB, CDB is similar to ABC, and ADC is also similar to ABC.
Yes.
All three triangle triangles are similar. So here you can write AD by CD is equal to CD by DB. See, in this triangle, AD by CD is equal to, I'm writing CD by DB,
Yes.
right? How am I writing similarity? So sometimes people get confused in similar triangles. Always write, so if there is triangle 1 and triangle 2, you can write side 1 by side 1 in this triangle, S dash, or side 2. So how do you decide which side? You can check the angles. So what is the side opposite to angle alpha in triangle ADC? What is the side opposite to angle alpha? CD, right?
Yes.
So you have CD by what is the side opposite to angle alpha in CDB? DB. So CD by DB. Then you write what is the side opposite to 90 minus alpha in ADC? That is AD. What is the side opposite to 90 minus
CD.
alpha in this? This is CD. So you get CD square is equal to AD into DB. Right? Always don't make a mistake of, let's say this is one triangle and this is another triangle, and this is A, B, C. This is P, Q, R. Let's say this angle is alpha, this angle is beta, this angle is gamma, and this angle is alpha, this angle is beta, this angle is gamma. Suppose, right? Then always choose the sides appropriately. So alpha opposite to alpha is C. So C by opposite to alpha here is P. C by P is equal to opposite to beta here is A. So A opposite to beta here is R. And similarly opposite to gamma here is B, and opposite to gamma here is Q. And always keep one triangle sides on top. Don't mix up the ratios, right? It is easy to mix it up.
Yes.
You understand? Be very careful when you write similar triangle ratios. Don't reverse one of the ratios by mistake, right? You understand?
Yes, sir.
So all of these things can be proved. You can also prove now that triangle AC, you can prove that triangle ACD is similar to triangle ABC, and you can
So
prove that
AC by AB is AD by AC.
AC by AB is equal to AD
AD
by
AC.
AC. So you'll get AC square is equal to AD into AB. And similarly, the third thing also you can do. Now, what will happen is that if you add up AC square and BC square, see what happens? AC square plus BC square becomes AD into AB plus AB into BD. So AB common, and AD plus BD becomes AB only, no?
Yes, sir.
So this becomes AB square. So this is Pythagoras theorem. AC square plus BC square is equal to AB square. Right? Everyone is getting it, no?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So we have more or less done similarity. There is one thing that we need to do. Angle bisector theorem I want to prove. Angle bisector theorem. So this is telling you that if there is a angle bisector of a triangle, angle bisector of a triangle divides the opposite side, in segments proportional to the other two sides of the triangle, proportional to the other two sides of the triangle. So everyone has heard of this theorem before, no?
Yes, sir.
So suppose you have something like this: A, B, C. Okay. ABC is a triangle, and okay, so angle bisector of A is AS. Suppose this is AS. This angle is equal to this angle. You have to prove that A okay, BS by SC is equal to AB by AC.
So we can extend AS is equal to AS twice its length, and then we get, we could do it like that.
Okay, just try it once. I will draw a separate nicer figure. We have to prove this, and I will draw on a new figure. So A, B, C, angle bisector. This is S. So you can extend this side.
Yes.
Extend this side to make this equal to this somewhere. Okay. So join that point. Say B1. This point is. Join this point. How much have you extended so that AB length is marked out here?
Yes.
That much you have extended. Okay.
So the two angles become equal.
So this becomes equal to this. Okay. And okay. So this becomes equal to this, and we have to prove somehow that SA is parallel to BB1. If we can prove that SA is parallel to BB1, it will be Thales theorem. CS by SB is equal to this by this, right?
So we can take angle BAS as theta.
BAS as theta, then this is also theta.
Yes, and this is 180 minus 2 theta.
Which
B1,
one?
B1AB.
B1AB, correct. 180 minus 2 theta, and this is then theta theta.
Yeah.
So this becomes interior alternate now. So that is, therefore it is parallel, right?
Yes, sir.
So we have gotten that BB1 is parallel to AS. So in triangle BCB1, we have Thales theorem now, right? Two parallel lines are there, right?
Yes.
So we can say that CS by SB is equal to AC by AB1, right? But AC by AB1 is equal to AB, right?
Yes.
So we got CS by SB is equal to AC by AB, correct? Which is what we wanted to prove, right?
Yeah.
So the whole proof became easy because we did this construction. Construct isosceles triangle here, then this angle is theta theta. This is 180 minus 2 theta. So this whole thing is 2 theta, and then this is theta, and this is theta, and theta are integer alternate, right? So it became parallel. Correct? Make sense? Everyone understood, no?
Yes.
Okay. So now a similar proof can be done for external angle bisector also. Okay. This is internal angle bisector we had seen. So there is a external angle bisector theorem also. I will just draw the figure and the theorem. So we have a triangle ABC. ABC, and this is A, this is B, this is C, and let's draw the external angle bisector. So exterior angle at vertex A, suppose. So let's extend this angle. This is the exterior angle, and the bisector will be somewhere like this. Bisector is somewhere like this, so I'll extend this like this, and this side will meet it somewhere here. This side will meet it somewhere here, A1, and I will draw this line like this. This is, say, D. Okay, this is a bisector, so this is equal to this. So this angle is equal to this, and this angle is equal to also this. So now let the bisector of angle at vertex A intersect the line BC at A1. Okay, so we have to prove that BA1 by A1C by A1C. So basically A1B by A1C is equal to, we have to prove that AB by AC. AB, this is A, AB by AC. A1 to B to A1 to C. So earlier, remember, in internal angle bisector also something similar was happening. A to this point, let's say A1, not A1, S, and this is B and C. We had B to S and S to C, S to B and S to C. The distances were like this, right? Was AB by AC, right? And here you have A1 to B and A1 to C is equal to AB by AC. This is what we have to prove. Okay. So, okay. So here you are constructing this isosceles triangle. You are going to mark out on this line somewhere this D, this isosceles triangle. Let D be a point on the line such that AB, oh no, AB is parallel to CT. Oh, okay. The construction, wait, I will rub this off. This was the initial question, okay? You have drawn a bisector, right? You have drawn a bisector of exterior angle A. Normal internal angle A is this, so exterior angle A is this, right?
Yes.
So I have drawn a bisector. Now the bisector is intersecting the BC extended side at A1, right? And I have to prove this thing. So now the way to prove this, the trick to prove this is draw a line through C which is parallel to AB. I am drawing a line parallel to AB. CD by construction. By construction, draw a line parallel to AB. So CD is parallel to AB. Now, if CD is parallel to AB, right?
So then we get AC is equal to CD because we can do angle change. Let BAC be theta.
Which one? DAC is theta. Yes, this angle is theta.
No, so BAC is 2 theta. So then DAC becomes 90 minus theta.
Which one you are calling theta?
So BAC.
BAC is theta. Okay.
So
Then-
those two become 90 minus theta by 2.
So correct, because 180 minus theta divided by 2, so 90 minus theta by 2. So then
So then ACD is interior alternate angle.
so this is theta.
So
So
then
what
that
are you
becomes,
trying to prove here?
so AC is equal to CD.
AC is equal to CD. Okay. So this is 90 minus theta by 2, no?
Yes. So they become,
So then this is in this triangle, this is isosceles. So that becomes AC becomes equal to CD.
yeah.
Okay. And then now what will you do is you will write Thales theorem, right?
Yeah.
A1B by A1C, right? Should be equal to A1A by A1D, right?
Yes.
Or you can also write AB by DC,
Yes. So AB by DC.
and
is-
DC is equal to AC.
Yeah.
You understand? Thales theorem could also mean this one, but this is not so useful for us, right? A1 by A1D. That is also correct. Thales theorem could be this and this and this, right? Basically, Thales theorem is similar triangles only, no?
Yeah.
So this is equal to this. Om, are you getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So we are getting this, and because we are getting AB by DC, we can say DC is equal to AC. Therefore, AB by AC. Okay. We found DC is equal to AC by doing angles. So theta, this is theta, this is 90 minus theta by 2, because total angle was 180 minus theta. Right? Okay. So this is done. Okay. So then we come to circles. Circles, we'll prove a few properties of circles, and then we'll move on to triangles. So circles, what is a circle? Everyone knows. Circle is a set of points which is equidistant from a fixed point, and the distance is called radius, and that distance is called radius. Now okay, so let AB be a chord in a circle. Let this be a circle, and let's say we have a chord AB, and this is the center, say O. AB be a chord in a circle. Let's connect this and this, right?
So they're equal.
So this is going to be equal and this is going to be equal. So there is an isosceles triangle here, AOB, correct?
Yeah.
If we draw a midpoint of this AB side, then isosceles triangle, we know if we join the midpoint with the vertex, it is also median and also altitude, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to be perpendicular bisector, right? OM line is going to be perpendicular bisector. We can extend this line. OM is a perpendicular bisector line. Okay. So angle AOM will be equal to BOM, no? These triangles become congruent, no?
Yes.
AOM is equal to BOM.
So it's angle bisector.
So if we denote by P and Q, so let's say this point is called P and this point is called Q. When this perpendicular bisector is extended, it will cut the circle in 2 points, no?
Yes.
So this point is P, this point is Q. Okay. So if you join A and P, if you join AP like this and BP like this, right? So now can you prove that wait, we get triangle OAP, we can get OAP is congruent to OBP, no? OAP.
So SAS.
SAS I think we'll get, because what do we know? We know this angle, we know
Yes.
this distance is common,
Yes.
and
And
this
we
is radius, right?
Yes.
By SAS. Everyone understands SAS here?
Yes.
OAP and OBP, right? So it is congruent, then this angle is also same as this angle. Correct?
Yes.
And AP is also same as BP.
Yes.
Okay. So now if the chord length of AP is same, then isn't the arc length also going to be same as this arc length?
Yes, sir.
If it is the same circle and you're joining 2 points and the chord length is same, then the arc length is also same, no?
Yes.
Similarly, you can also prove that this triangle is congruent to this triangle. Again, SAS you will do,
Yes.
right?
So 2 radii and the included angle.
Which one are you doing? Which triangles are you doing? You can do A. Actually, you can do AOQ and this one, BOQ, right?
Yeah.
Because 2 radii and included angle,
Mm.
right? Because this angle is same, no? So this angle is also same, right?
Yeah.
So again, you will get that AQ is equal to BQ, right?
So the angles are
So chords are equal, right? So then arcs are also equal, no? These arcs.
Yes.
So what we are getting is that the point P and Q is also midpoint of the arcs, no? P and Q are midpoints of the small and the big arc, right? Smaller and bigger arc. Correct?
Yes.
Are you getting that?
Yes.
So now, so what we can say that center of the circle O, midpoint of major and minor arc, which one is minor arc? APB is a minor arc and AQB is a major arc.
yes.
Midpoint of major and minor arc, and correct. All of these lie on the same line, no? All lie on the same line. Same line. And obviously M also lies on that line, M also, right? Correct. So,
Yes, sir.
so center can be found. So now think of this. PQ is a chord, no? PQ is a chord.
PQ is a diameter.
It is also a diameter, right? PQ is a chord also, no? You can think of it
That
as a chord
passes
also.
the center.
And the
Yes.
chord is passing through the center. So midpoint of the chord is O, right? Correct? Correct, no?
Yeah.
So what we know is that center of any circle can be found as the midpoint of found as the point of intersection of perpendicular bisectors of any two chords. So actually in this case it is very obvious, but what I want to say, the property that I want to say is, if you have two chords, right? If you draw perpendicular bisectors of both the chords, right? Both the chords, then center will be the point of intersection of these perpendicular bisectors. Will be the point of intersection of these perpendicular bisectors, because from the properties that you have so far seen, center definitely lies on the perpendicular bisector of any chord, right?
Yes.
So another chord, if you have like this, center will lie on the perpendicular bisector of this chord also. So
So
this
for
must
all
be the
chords.
center, no?
Yeah.
These are two arbitrary chords, right? Make sense, everyone?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, if you have a circle and if you have a chord here somewhere, so let's say I will draw a chord here, and this is the center, and this is a radius midpoint like this, and let's say you have a point here, you draw a tangent from here, and this is like this, and draw a tangent from here, and this is like this, right? This point is, let's say, T, and this point is O, and this point is A, and this point is B, right? So tangent is perpendicular to the radius.
Yes.
This is 90, 90. So this whole triangle OBT is congruent to OAT, right?
Yes.
That is
Yes.
obvious because this was equal as equal. Those two angles are equal, so similar and common side OT.
Yes.
So it is congruent. So this distance is equal to this distance.
Yes.
So you get TB square is equal to TA square, right? Length
Yes.
of the tangent from an external point is going to be the same to the same circle. So length of the tangent TB square can be written as OT square minus OB square is equal to TA square can be written as OT square minus OA square, but OA square is radius and this is also radius, no? So that is why it is becoming equal, right?
Yes.
Because this is a right angle triangle, and Pythagoras theorem, when you do it, becomes difference of two equal things, right?
And we can also get the power of point T.
So later we'll call this length of tangent square as power of a point T, but we'll come to that later. Right now you don't need to worry about it. This angle is theta, this angle is also theta, congruent triangles. So basically every triangle is congruent here. 1 is congruent to 2, 3 is congruent to 4, 3 is this one, and 5 is congruent to 6. Every triangle is congruent. Are you guys understanding what I'm saying?
Yes.
Every pair of triangles is congruent. Okay, so this is a very nice situation because now you have so many results that you know, right? So now we will have to prove the inscribed angle theorem. Inscribed angle theorem, which says that angle at the center. Okay, I will give this as a homework. Just do this at yourself. Angle at center is
Twice
2
angle.
times angle at any other point. 2 times the angle at the circumference at the circle. For any chord. For any chord, angle at the center is double of the angle at the circle. So this is a homework. Let's try and do it yourself. Okay. Prove the inscribed angle theorem. Everyone knows the theorem, right?
Yes. So the proof is also easier.
Proof is also not so hard. Just try and do it yourself. Now, what we will do is okay. Now, by angle chasing, by finding angles, you can find the angle between the tangent and the chord, right?
Yeah. So that's equal to the opposite.
So suppose you have a situation like this. This is chord A, B, and suppose you have a tangent here. Okay. This is T, and this is P. Okay. And what I want to find out is this angle alpha. Okay.
So that's equal to APB.
That is equal to APB, but how do we prove that?
So we can join the center.
So now
So that,
OAT is 90, right?
yes.
So this angle is 90
95.
minus alpha.
Yeah.
So this angle is also 90 minus alpha.
Yes.
So this angle is 2 alpha.
So that's
So that angle is alpha. Everyone is following these steps. Mansi?
So how
Yes.
is there alpha when this is 2 alpha?
So inscribed angle theorem, you remember? You don't know, okay?
Yeah. No, sir, I don't know.
Now you know.
Yeah.
AB is subtending 2 alpha at the center. Then it will subtend alpha at the circle, no?
Yeah.
And how did I get this 90 minus alpha? Because this angle between radius and tangent is 90, right?
90.
So this is alpha, then this is 90 minus alpha. This is isosceles. So this is also 90 minus alpha. So this is 2 alpha. And so this is alpha. Right? So in any situation in a circle, if you have a chord and if you have a tangent here, the angle between chord and tangent will be equal to this angle. Or this angle. Or half of this angle. Right?
Yes.
Understood? Okay. Then we have angle in a semicircle is 90 degree, obvious. We have angle in a semicircle is 90 degree. How do we get that?
So inscribed angle.
Because this angle is 180, right? So this whole arc is subtending 180 degree here. So this one will be 90, right? This is one property. Then second property is cyclic quadrilateral. If there is a cyclic quadrilateral, then opposite angles are supplementary.
Yes.
Opposite angles are supplementary. How do we get this one?
So because they are opposite arcs, so
They are opposite arcs. So if
so
you
the
have a
total sum is 360 and half of that is 180.
correct. So like this, if you draw, and this arc, let's call this arc PQ, and this arc PRSQ is one arc, and PQ is one arc. PQ arc will subtend some angle, let's say alpha. So this angle will be 360 minus alpha, right?
Yeah.
Correct. So if you 1 second. Oh, guys, sorry, there was an interruption. Wait. So, can you prove that opposite angle supplementary? Hello? Okay. Okay. So, what we are doing is basically proving that think of actually, I have drawn a wrong figure slightly, right? Wait. I should rub this off. Right. So now, if you think of the arc PQS, right? PQS arc, right?
Yes.
PQS arc is subtending R angle here, right? So this angle should be 2R, right?
Yes.
And similarly, PRS arc is subtending Q angle here. So
Yes.
this angle should be 2Q, right?
Yes.
So
And
you
we
should
add
have
360.
2Q plus 2R is coming as 360, right? Angle around a point, right? So you'll get Q plus R is equal to 180. Is everyone understanding clearly? No, why?
Yes.
Mansi? Okay. Okay, then cyclic quadrilateral basic property we have seen. Now we look at two important theorems, which is called, one is called intersecting chords theorem. Intersecting chords, and the other will be called intersecting secants. The other is called intersecting secants. Okay, so these two theorems will prove. So let's say this is a circle and we have two chords. One chord is like this, one chord is like this, and this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. Okay, and they intersect at some point X. So what we want to prove that is AB and CD are two line segments that intersect at X. We have to prove that AX into XB is equal to XC into XD.
This is just power of a point, right?
This is power of a point, but right now we have not studied power of a point, so you can prove it without that also.
So they are similar triangles.
Correct. So join this, right? And you can prove that triangle AXD.
Is similar to CXB.
AXD is similar to CXD. How? Vertical opposite angles and
DB.
If we
Arc
join
DB.
this angle is equal to this angle
Yes.
because of arc BD. Arc BD will subtend one angle here, same angle here. So two angles are same, so similar triangles. So then you can get A. What is the side opposite this angle? AD, and side opposite this is BC. So you have ratios are AD by BC is equal to we have opposite to this is DX by opposite to this is XB, and the third one opposite is AX by The third one opposite here is xc, right? So we
Yeah.
have ax into xb is equal to dx into xc, right?
Yes.
This is what we needed to prove. Now this is called the intersecting chords theorem. This triangle is similar to this triangle, therefore we get this, right? It is also power of a point, but power of a point we'll discuss later. Right now we'll don't worry about it. Okay. So intersecting secants theorem. So now we have some secants. So I'll draw the figure. So let's say we have a point x here and there is a line like this. This is a secant line because it cuts the circle in 2 points, right?
Yes.
Similarly, you have a line like this.
So
This is
xc
C,
into xb will be xc into xd. Yeah.
correct. So you have xa into xb will be equal to xc into xd, right?
Yeah.
Again, what you will prove is this is
It's
a cyclic
Yeah.
triangle xbc, okay, will be similar to xda.
Okay.
You can prove that these two triangles are similar. How will you prove that?
So
See,
I think
this arc, look at this arc,
CDA is equal to CBA.
right?
Yeah.
Common angle.
Yeah.
Two angles are equal. In triangle XDA and triangle XBC, two angles are coming equal, no?
Yes.
So it is similar triangles again. And then when you write the ratios correctly, you will get the thing. Okay. So we have common angle here. So this angle opposite to this is XA. So XA, and this angle opposite is XC. XA by XC is equal to, I need XB. So
XD by XB.
uh,
XD by XB.
XD by XB, correct. Because XD is opposite to which angle? This angle,
Okay.
right? And here also it is opposite to this angle, right? XB in this triangle. So you get XA into XB is equal to XC into XD. Everybody is understanding how it is coming. So
Yes, sir.
you need to remember the result that distance from this point to this point into this point should be equal to this into this. Also, this into this should be equal to this into this, right?
Yeah.
You need to remember the results. Okay. Okay. Now we look at the secant tangent theorem. Okay. So one more, this is the last theorem that we'll look at right now. Secant tangent theorem, very similar to what we just saw, except one line will become a tangent.
So XA squared. Right.
Correct. So this will become x a b, and this will not cut two times, that is intersecting secants. This will become a tangent, suppose t. Okay. So what we will prove is that xt square,
XA into XB.
correct. So instead of two intersections, there is one intersection. Okay. So draw this line like this. Now this is a chord. This is the angle between this and this. So this must be equal to this angle by our secant and chord angle, tangent and chord angle theorem. Earlier we had done that, no?
Yes.
So this angle is equal to this angle, and we have what else do we have? XT,
So we have
angle. Tell me,
a common angle.
which triangles are you looking at? TXA and TXB, kya?
Yes. So BAT and TXA.
TXA and BAT.
Yes. So BXT.
BXT, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
BXT. So one common angle and one equal angle, no?
Yes.
See, everyone can notice this angle is equal and this angle is common, no? Mansi?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So now again similar triangles you'll write and you'll get this ratio. Basically understand this as similar to this only. When you have C and D, you had XC into XD is equal to XA into XB, and now you bring the point D very close to C, right, and make a tangent, right? Then
Yeah.
XC and XD both become XT, right?
Yes.
It's the same thing. Okay, so now we have come to everything that was done in 9th and 10th grade. This is all the geometry that will be there in 9th and 10th grade, and actually a little more than that. Now we come to the triangle geometry. Okay, triangle geometry. So I think this will be a good time to pause for today. So what we will do, I will send you a worksheet which will cover all of these ideas. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's work on that worksheet, and on Sunday, hopefully we'll have our second class. We'll start with triangle geometry. Okay. So this is in the list of 15 points that I had written. No, this
Yes.
we have reached till point number 5. So triangle geometry is point number 6.
Yes.
Okay. So hopefully we'll spend a little bit of time and do it in detail, this one, and on Sunday we'll resume. Okay. So what I will do is I am making the assignment for this geometry first class, and I'll be sharing it with you guys by tomorrow most probably. Okay. And the video file also I will share. Video file also I will share with you guys. Okay. And just work on the algebra problems, and if you have any difficulties or doubts and all, you can message me on WhatsApp, and work on the triangle geometry problems also, which I will be sharing by tomorrow. Okay. I'll see you on Saturday then. Okay, guys.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, bye.